What I'd like to do is start with, let's move on to some practice, probably some much needed practice. What we'll do is meditate a bit. What I like to do is what's called a Tsa Lung breathing practice. In Tibetan Buddhism, there's a class of pranayama or breathing practices that are meant to kind of balance out the channels in the body and really enormously helpful for meditation that follows the breathing. And so we've done this before on the call. It's orbital breathing, where we basically practice breathing in through the nose and imagine that the breath is traveling down two channels in the front, down into the base of the spine and the perineum of the body on the inhale. We take a pause, and then as we breathe out, we imagine that breath going down through the legs and out through the feet into the earth. And then pausing again, we breathe back in, and as we breathe in, we're breathing in through the feet, up through the legs to the perineum. And as we breathe out, the channels in the back of the body, we exhale the earth energy up through the back and then out the crown. Okay, so that's one revolution of breath. Ultimately, once we've established that inhale, we'll move from breathing in through the nose to breathing in and allowing breath to move down through the crown, down the parallel channels of energy through the front of the body, and then breathing out through the legs into the earth, breathing back in up through the feet and up through the legs, and breathing back out up the two channels in the back and out the crown. And so as we do that, we're basically, it's an orbit of breath, largely, an orbit of energy present within our breathing. And it really helps to center the mind through the body, helps us to kind of balance out tension. It's very soothing for the entire nervous system as well in the body. If you think about this thing called the vagus nerve, we always like to talk about, this is not a gambling thing in the body. The vagus nerve is VAGUS, not with an AS. And it's something that is, I think it's part of the parasympathetic nervous system, right, bro? And it's really implicit both in, yes, okay. It's really implicit in the stress response in the body and also balancing out that stress response. So um, when we're able to breathe deeply like this and relax, the vagus nerve attenuates its stress response and we can feel really deeply relaxed. And because it's the largest nerve system in the body, it responds well to breath, as well as to things like sighing, which we're going to do before we start the orbital breathing. So we'll do some breathing first, and we'll come out of the breath. I want to talk a little bit about the lojong that we have been touching upon every week, the mind training points. And the second point, which is consider all experiences to be like dreams. And that's a good one. I like dreaming, so I like that one. Okay, so wherever you are, however you are, and however you feel, just let yourself be in your body. Take a minute and just breathe. Take a really nice, long sigh out of the body. So you can breathe in and sigh a nice, loud, long sigh. Oh. And then breathing in, inhale. Notice your breath might go a little more deep this time. And then breathing out a nice long sigh, whatever is in you, just let it be. Give it a voice on that exhale as a loud sigh. Ah. If you're in a place where other people can hear you and you don't want them to hear you, you can do it silently. But really let that sigh just vibrate, vibrating a release basically on the exhale. So again, ah. Okay, one more time. Ah. Okay, now just simply pause. Be in touch with your breath. Just let your breath come alive. So in this moment, we can allow breath to be our teacher. Amazing how much wisdom there is at the center of our breathing. And every breath is different from the one before and different from the one to come. So also being curious about the breath and open to the breath and being opened by the breath. You can even say the mantra by Thich Nhat Hanh, breathing in I calm, breathing out I smile. Smiling at the experience of releasing, of letting go at your own pace. Whatever layer falls away, just let it fall away. Breathing in I calm, breathing out I smile. Being in this moment. So we can let the mind settle just by attuning to breath. Let breath be that bridge, that merging of mind and body, that medicine for both. Let it free the mind and anchor the body. And any muscles that are tight or contracted anywhere in the body, just do a quick scan and allow yourself to soften those places, releasing tension. Subtle change happens simply by bringing awareness to those places of tension and unease. So quieting the mind, you can notice that subtle change more easily. Becoming almost as gentle as a whisper with all that arises. With this moment. And bringing attention to the tip of your nose. This is a good place to concentrate attention. Many breathing techniques in many meditation traditions emphasize just resting awareness at the tip of the nose as you breathe in, breathe out. Be aware of the temperature of the air going in, this thread of vital energy through the nostrils, up into the sinus cavity, into the head, and then down. Down into the chest, the front of the body. Breathing down, down beyond the belly, down to the base of the body, between the sit bones, touching the chair or the cushion. And on the exhale, just imagine that breath releasing down even more through the legs and out through the feet into the earth. So you can practice doing this a couple of times, just breathing in through the nostrils. In one slow inhale, the breath traveling down the channels in the front, down to the perineum of the body, Take a brief pause and then breathing out through the legs, down through the feet, and into the earth below. So allow this following of this path for your breath. Just following it gently and willingly. Almost like following the water in a waterfall with curiosity. All the way from the top, all the way down to the bottom. And on the next inhale, breathing in the energy of the earth up through the feet and through the legs, up to the base of the spine, and then gently hold, and then breathing out, that energy continues up the channels along the back of the body, and breathing out through the crown. You can spend a moment, if you like, just feeling the crown of your head, feeling a receptivity, a subtle opening. This place we often call the 1,000-petaled lotus. This connection to all that is beyond just our own selves, this belief in a closed system, the self as a closed system. Letting that fall away as you open the crown. Part of something much greater and much more nourishing, whatever that may be. So once again, breathing in through the nostrils, down the front of the body, inhaling down to the base of the body between the sit bones, gently hold. Breathing out through the legs and down through the feet and out into the earth. Breathing back in, up through the feet, through the legs, allowing that earth energy, that nourishing energy of the earth, to come to rest for a moment at the base of the spine, and then breathing out up the back and out through the crown. And that's orbital breathing. Doing this one more time, breathing in through the nostrils. And no pushing or straining the breath, but just allowing it. It's almost like standing under a gentle waterfall, just allowing the water to be cleansing and gently falling. This is the state of this breath. And as if breathing out in the waterfall itself, the water just continues to run downstream on its own. Let that be the spirit of breath. We won't try any fancy metaphors about an upward flowing waterfall. That might be confusing, but it's the same spirit. And then your next inhale. Now breathing down, breathing in from through the crown of your head. Becoming fully receptive to what we might call the energy of the heavens. Just being receptive, whatever that means for you, without thinking about it or analyzing what that is. Just be open. And breathe in through the crown and down the channels of the front. Almost as if you're breathing in a quality of luminosity. Almost a silky, luminous quality. Like liquid light. And then breathing that out down through the legs and out through the feet into the earth. And the in-breath continues much the same as before, breathing up through the feet and the legs, base of the spine, and then breathing out up the two channels on the sides of roughly the spine area up through the crown, the earth energy. So we're orbiting basically this beautiful, wonderful nectar of that which is beyond us, of the heavens, of the divine, if you will, or just of the beauty of life itself through the crown, and then allowing that to travel through us into the earth, and then breathing out, breathing up the nourishing, grounding energy of the earth, and mixing that up the back of the body into the up through the crown. Know that you are at that center point between the heavens and the earth. You are that place where the two converge so beautifully. You are an embodiment of both, an expression of both, and a loving container of both, for both. So just practice on your own for a couple more minutes of this orbital breathing. And then I'll ring the bell when it's time to bring us back. As you practice this breath, gently become aware of witnessing this breath. Awareness of your own awareness of this breath. Awareness that is open and clear, fully receptive and present.